Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you guys. Chicago Astro here, coming at you with an update to everything. It's gonna be a long video. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of things. But first and foremost, just want to say we went to our first tournament. I want to first start off by just saying, in the name of the most merciful, the most kind, right? The creator. All right, but real quick, a lot of things to come in this video. Just updates from the tournament, things like that. So that I'm gonna be talking about my experience there. I'm going to go through the cards that I traded and won and got. I'm going to talk about what happened with my trade binder. Some bulk deals that I had. Some stuff that I got from the openings from the pack and how that works. This interesting thing that I did there. And some mats and some other things. Oh, and something for Samir. A special thing for Samir in the video. So a lot of content to cover in this video. Let's go do it real quick. So I've never ever gone to a tournament ever. Never even been to locals. Never been to anything. Right? And I duel a lot on Duel Network. As of recent, I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Like this year, as you guys know. So I used to just play competitively on Duel Network. I play with an old Harpy deck, right? I've made it really competitive. It's Harpy Blackwing. I don't have it with me right now, but later on I'm going to show you my deck profile on it. So, okay. So let me just kind of go through as quickly as I can. I'm going to talk fast so I can try to cover all the content and try to keep the video short. Alright, so yesterday morning, me, Samir, and Ishaq, we went to Countryside, Illinois, kind of really south, kind of a half an hour drive. We got there. 8:30 is when it opened. 10 o'clock is when the tournament began. Good thing we got there early because we had to register. I've never been to a thing, so I don't have a Kasi ID. So they took care of that. I'm gonna hide the number, obviously. You get a number, right, and things like that. So you get your Kasi ID. This is what you use at all tournaments. You're supposed to put your name there. I didn't put my name there yet. I'm gonna do that later. They actually give you 2 other stickers of the sticker of your ID. I lost mine already. Yeah, next time just put it on your deck box or something. So this is the only card I have. So keep that ID that stays with you. Alright, and as soon as you got there, as you saw in the last video, we weren't allowed to film there. So we just got that video before we knew we weren't allowed to take, no camera photography or whatever, film photography there. So, but yeah, so we registered. You need your whole deck list written out. Every monster, every spell, every trap. Your side deck even has to be written down. What you're running in your side deck. Everything has to be written down, okay, and then turned in on the piece of paper to the judges. Then you start the tournament. All right, so that's what you have to do. I did not know that, but that was regional. So think about it. I've never gone to a tournament, never gone to locals. I'm beginning to play competitively, but my first event was at regionals. And if you do top 42 there, you get an invite to go to nationals. Alright, so I'll tell you how I did. By the way, real quick, if you guys are curious how I did 5 and 4. Alright, 5 wins, 4 losses. I'm going to be talking about that and every duelist I dueled. I did take notes while I was there of all the people I faced and everything. So I'm going to kind of be going over that too. So alrighty, going on. So we got there, we filled out the forms, we registered, we got there, my first matchup. So let me first talk about that. Basically, when I was there, the types of people that were there, oh my gosh, it was just super, super interesting, alright? So there was tons of people. Out of all the matches I had, out of my 9 matches, one of them was a girl. Most of them were people in their early 20s or late teens. A lot of them, for the most part, the reality of it is pretty much everyone was Caucasian. African Americans a little bit too. I did face one Hispanic guy and one other person who was like some kind of European, but I was like the only Muslim guy there. I think there was one more other little Muslim kid, but I never got a chance to run into him. But yeah, so I was a minority there. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm here to represent. Yeah. Alrighty, so we got there. I dueled. I'm going to talk about my matches now. Then I'll go to trades. Dude, there's a ton of stuff to talk about in this video. So let me just kind of go through some of the stuff that I got. I don't have a tripod, by the way, if you guys have noticed. Really shaky. My dad's borrowing it for something. It's my dad's camera, my dad's tripod. So, yeah, sorry about that, guys. But just some of the stuff I got real quick. Some person gave this to me as a peace offering after I gave him my card, which I will talk about later in the video. So if you guys did see the card, or did not, I'm going to talk about how you make them and everything. Everybody I faced, I kind of did that. So let me actually go, while I'm talking about that, I'll show you my trade stuff, all these amazing cards that I picked up soon. But let me first just talk about that. Oh man, this is just going to fall apart. Okay, sorry, I'm one-handed videoing. So as you guys know, what I did just that was my idea was I printed you can see in my other video what I did, but the duelists who I faced, before I dueled them, I would hand them this card, introduce myself, shake their hand, and give them this card. It just says what I say on Duel Network all the time: Salaam alaikum, peace be upon you. Thanks for the duel/trade. Check out our videos and channel. Subscribe. Also, we could talk and duel later on Duel Network, and it has my dueling network name, right? And it has my favorite card on there. Now, I literally would cut that out, right? That's Samir's, by the way. Samir had that. I made it for each one of our clan members. I would cut it out, and you guys get the drift. He had something similar on his card, right? Just his username and everything. Yeah, so I would cut it out, and then I would put it in a sleeve, so everyone got a sleeve and a random card behind it, right? So that's the interesting part. I was gonna put this in. Basically, you guys get the drift. I would slide this. Actually, I printed out my old resumes, but yeah, resume paper. My cover letters and stuff like that. I'm applying for jobs and stuff. So yeah, I printed these on resume paper. Isn't that kind of funny? But yeah, so it's a little bit thicker paper. So it's not just like computer paper. It's a little bit thicker, right? So slide it in here, and you would get a random card behind it too. So people are like, oh, I get a free sleeve and a free card, and you get like my promo card for the channel. So that's something interesting and new I did. I only made about like 2-3 dozens. I should have made more. I didn't have time to cut these out and everything, but I ran out of these cards toward the end of the day. So earlier in the day when I was trading people and dueling people, I would do that. But like, yeah, the cards usually came with awesome cards with them, right? So like I would just put like a random card behind the sleeve. So some people got lucky and got nicer cards. Most people just got commons and stuff, right? But yeah. So that's what I did. If you got one of these cards, welcome to my channel. Subscribe. I handed out like about 2 dozen of these. So hopefully I'm gonna see the view count and subscriber count increase. But yep, just going over a recap. So that's what I did. So I would put these cards behind things, and yeah, that's pretty much it for that. That's just a new idea. A lot of people did like the idea. They got a free card, they got a promo, and they kind of keep tabs with who they dueled. So that's my official promo card. Promotion for the channel, and just some new idea that I want to try out. So basically, every single time I dueled somebody, I would hand them this card. So those of you guys who have not been to a tournament, I'm just going to explain it real quick how a tournament works. So what I would do is, I went in, it was in a hall. I thought maybe it would be like a nicer hall, but it was this, you guys can see the footage. There was about 330, like a ton of people, like 300, 400 people there. 300 people were actually registered in the tournament playing. A lot of people who weren't even playing in the tournament, you can just come to trade and duel on the side. They had tables set up, okay? They had, like, I don't know, several rows of tables, and all the tables were numbered 0 through 120-ish or something. I don't even know. Take 300 divided by 2, so, I don't know, a lot. So, over 150 tables, I'm assuming. Numbered tables. So, and now I'm recently finding out that so every time you duel, I don't know how the points work. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a loss, 0 points for, I don't even know, for not coming or whatever. So that's how that works. But they had all these tables set up. You just basically find your name. They would post every round. There were 9 rounds. Okay, so I don't even know what it's called. Swiss Robin, or I don't know. Samir could talk about that. But it wasn't like double elimination, 2 losses and you're out. It was something else. It was some kind of thing where there were 9 rounds. You have 9 match duels, right? Best of 3. And yeah. So you duel, and so I almost made it into the top nationals or whatever. So now I'm gonna talk about, okay, so that was the experience. I'm gonna talk about actually my experience in possibly quitting Yu-Gi-Oh! And or just what my thoughts on current meta, current Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in general. But let me quickly just talk about my matches now. So I did bring this along for life points and stuff like that, where I would, so I kind of have a good record of what was going on for life points and all that. A lot of people use calculators. Man, you guys are like, their math was so bad. And I have to talk about my experience. Alright, so I had 9 duels. So guys, get some popcorn, sit back, relax. Hopefully this video is not too long. But I'm going to talk about my 9 matches. Alright, then I'm going to go through my trades. Maybe just quickly show my trade binder. Talk about this huge bulk trade that I had, which got me a ton of stuff. Basically, I traded away all my Digimon cards. and I got a ton cash and money with somebody. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, you can see the thing. I got a ton of cards, so bring collectible items. I traded away all my Digimon cards. So glad I made that video earlier hand. And some other things. Okay, so on to what my matches were. Sorry, I'm not feeling too good. And gotta go somewhere soon, so let me just talk quickly. So my first match was against Billy, who I later found out from Samir, who goes to his locals, has topped at regional events before, like 2 or 3 times. So my first match was against the player who's gotten first place at previous regionals and locals. Alright, his name was Billy. I don't know exactly what. He ran a ridiculous dueling deck. It was a best of 3, so I didn't get plowed over. I'm going to be releasing my Harpy Blackwing Dark Simorgh deck that was doing amazing. Summoner Monk and all that stuff, like just with Miss Valley Falcon, I got Stardust out every duel, I got Dark Simorgh out every duel. It was amazing. Anyway, I'll talk about later on. You guys subscribe to my channel. I'll post my the deck that I took to regionals. I will post that later. But anyway, so my first duel was against Billy. He used like a ridiculous deck that had Grand Soil, and he basically milled a lot. He didn't play that many spell and trap. Each duel I did get my Dark Simorgh Stardust out and had him in a lock. Kaija Coliseum, I had him in a lock. But his Grand Soil was just, oh gosh. Anyway, I lost to him. It was a best of 3, I lost. So that was my first duel. My second duel was against a girl, actually. Her name was Alexa, and yes, I am going to call you out. Welcome to the internet. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome. Yeah. Alright, so anybody who cheats, guess what? If you're a bad trader or a scammer or a cheater, you will make it on this channel, alright? That's the sad reality of it. Welcome to 2012. Alright, so what happened was I dueled this person, and they were running a Frog Monarch, I later found out. So there was a girl dueling, and if you're a girl dueling, don't dress like a when you come to a tournament. I don't get it, alright? So I'm calling you out. I know she had a fiance and everything like that, but forget it, alright? So I don't get the point of why would people even do that. Anyway, it was a hot thing, maybe that's why, but whatever. So I was dueling her, and talk about, first of all, it was a best of 3 because I made it that way. I was dominating the duel. So I began the duel, handed them the card, you know, told them about like my first regionals, so people understand. Because I know, like for example, Ishaq, I'm actually a pretty competitive player, so I'm able to duel quickly and duel fast. But Ishaq was kind of new, he's kind of old school, so he was reading cards and he wasn't familiar with it. Samir plays competitively before, and I play competitively on DN, so I'm able to keep up with most of the meta, keep up with how most of the rulings and all that stuff works. But anyway, so I kind of did introduce. So this person, I don't want to say they cheated, but they did not take losing well. I guess they just got mad because they lost to a noob, alright? At least from their eyes. But so what happened was I'm dueling, and like I'm just dominating. I'm just doing awesome. Both times but I think when I was facing her, I had amazing opening hands. I'll talk about my best opening hand in my deck profile video. But basically, in my ideal hand, all I need is a Summoner Monk and a spell card and Dark Simorgh, and I have my best opening ever. You know, 2 Summoner Monks, 3 Dark Simorghs. That happens very often, and a lot of searching power, and I have a lot of draw power in my deck with Worm Linuxes and Dislocudas. My dueling deck did amazing. I was surprised. I think I would have qualified for nationals if I had a little bit better luck. Or actually, we left early because we were just so tired. We were there till like 7, 8 p.m. We were there since like 8 in the morning. So we were there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It was crazy. Anyhow, but yeah, it was a very long, tiring day. But so my second match against this girl, yeah, the reason I'm calling her out because she was rule sharking like crazy, and lucky for me, I knew my rulings. So the first duel, I won. You know, figured out she was playing frogs. Second duel, I was still kind of dominating. I was doing really well. She summoned Obelisk, and weirdly enough, I had a dark hole. Like, you know, I had a dark hole in hand. So I survived the Obelisk with the frog deck as well too, right? So I was just lucky that I was holding dark hole from first turn, move 1, just because, yeah, you know, I'm a good player, so I know what I'm doing. So, but then like she had a Jinzo out on the field, and I had Anti-Spell Fragrance on the field. Maybe I'll talk about it with another thing. But I had Anti-Spell Fragrance in the back row, and I had it active. She summons a Jinzo, and that was her demise because I already had taken out her Obelisk and everything, but because Anti-Spell Fragrance, and she had a Caius and she took Dark Simorgh out with her Caius effect, and she had a Jinzo on the field, a Jinzo and a Caius versus my, I don't know, I had one thing left. I had 2 things. I had my Stardust and Dark Simorgh on the field. So she kills my Stardust, I mean, she banishes my Dark Simorg, and I have nothing else. So yeah, I go in and I special summon Elector. I side in Elector. Oh, I'll talk about this in my deck profile video. I special summon Elector because she has 2 darks. Elector, the Sovereign of Birds. And the reason I was then I was able to, because anti-spell was negated because Jinzo was on the field, I was able to do like it's just an awesome play. I forget what it was now, but basically I do, and I won. But the second time, my second loss I actually had is because I helped her. She had a Dark Dust Spirit, the spirit monster, and I told her, that effect only, I even asked her, hey, reminding you, because she was about to, she tributed summon, and I knew she had a Dark Dust Spirit because it's a spirit monster and just kept bouncing back. Anyway, I'm really sorry I'm talking all this, but basically I helped her get that second win. I even advised her, hey, don't do that. That doesn't work that way. And I showed her the ruling, and hence, but I lost the second round. But the third round, I won again. And she was just like, does not take losing well, got very angry, or at least it seemed like it anyway, but just was trying to rule Shark, saying that, no, Jinzo doesn't work like that. I'm like, just read your card. Jinzo doesn't just stop the activation. Any face-up trap also gets negated. So I guess she was trying to rule Shark just because she was losing. Anyhow, but just pointing that out, guys, don't do that kind of stuff. I know what I'm doing despite that. That was my second duel. So my first duel I lost. My second duel I won. My third duel was against Peter. Peter was, I think, 17. He was in high school. And, I'm a friendly guy, so I was talking to him. But this guy straight up cheated, man. Like, second match, okay, so my first opening hand sucked. I only had spells and traps, okay? And I had the Salaam Brigade for that matter. I hate that thing anyway, but whatever. I had only spells and traps, okay? It was only my second duel ever dueling, so I'm not familiar with how to call a judge. I'm not familiar with how to do the thing. So anytime you have a question, you just raise your hand and be like, Judge! And you just say that, and a judge comes over and helps you out and things like that. But, this is only my second duel ever, and, and I have a horrible opening hand. So I just lost, within 3-4 turns I lost. I even forgot what he was running. All I remember is that I got cheated on because, so the second thing, you can side. So I'm even kind of new to siding. I'm not new to siding. I do it all the time on Duel Network, but, so I was siding, and I'm like, oh man, this stinks, whatever. So I sided like 1 or 2 things, because I looked at what his Duel deck was running, and I sided some things. And then I put him in my deck. And then I handed him my deck to shuffle, okay? So, I'm going to use an example. I'll just use these as an example, alright? So I handed him my dueling deck to shuffle. And I put those things in my dueling deck, and I forgot to shuffle my deck, okay? And it was just basically my graveyard from the last duel, like, put back. So I gave him my deck to cut, and this is what he does. And then the next duel began. And the next duel, my opening hand was the exact same opening hand as my first duel. No shuffling happened, and I drew the same hand without any spell or traps and the Salaam Brigade stuff. So I lost my second match. So already I'm off to, like, the first duel, Samir told me that guy, Billy was actually, like, he had gotten first, so I didn't feel so bad. Like, whoa, I just lost to the person who won first place, and I lost, like, best of 3? Like, what? So I was, look, I'm off to a good start. Second duelist, I won, right? Now this is my third duel, and this person straight up cheated against me. I should have won that rule, but I didn't know how to call judges, and the thing is, then afterwards, what was really funny is, like, he won the first 2, so he won those 2, and he straight up stacked again. I don't even know if this is stacking. That's just straight up cheating, all right? He just, you heard what the situation that happened, right? So I got cheated on and I lost, and I wasn't familiar with how to call judges and stuff, so whatever. So that was my third duel. My ass only, this is my third duel, and I lost my third duel. So a loss, a win, a loss. All right. So that was the third duel. So don't cheat like that. So I drew my same opening hand, and yeah. All right. So my third duel was against my fourth duel now. So a loss, a win, a loss. So my fourth duel, I'm like, okay, let me try to win this one. All right. Fourth duel, I actually legitimately lost to. I faced a person called Robert. He ran a hero deck, and heroes are pretty OP, I think, in this format. So I faced him, and I lost to a hero. Okay, that was fine. And then my fifth duel was against this person, awesome name with a J, Julio. Julio. Joules, like the unit of measurement of heat. Julio. He had a Dark World deck, and that was neck to neck. Dark World is a really good matchup against me, because I just, I'll explain that in my that video, because if I side against Dark World, I win, right? But it was a really close match. It was really neck to neck, and in the end, Julio did win. Next, I faced Adam. All right, Adam had a Light Sworn Chaos deck, And I did a bunch of trades with Adam too. He was a really cool guy. So shout out to Adam, really cool guy. And I lost to him too actually. And that was again a Lightsworn Chaos deck. It was really well built. And then my next duel was with Jose. All right, Jose used Crystal Beast. Oh my gosh, Crystal Beast on Harpies, dude, that is just not gonna not in their favor. That's like the worst matchup for him, best matchup for me. Crystal Beast is awesome because basically when their monster gets destroyed, it was so cool watching them do this. The monster gets destroyed, instead of sending it to the graveyard, they're like, whoosh, monster dies. Whoosh. It was just just a really nice thing. I was like, oh, I just thought that was cool. But because they put those things in back rows, and you guys know how Harpy ladies work, right? Harpy deck, one of the oldest archetype in the game. Like, every time they're summoned, destroy back row. So, obviously not brother, but, you guys get the drift. I don't have my deck right now. I'll show the deck profile later. But yeah, anyway, so Jose was a really cool guy, but his Crystal Beast deck stands no chance against my main deck. It was just a bad chance. So I won against him. He was a really cool guy. Awesome. Then I faced Brian. I forgot what Brian was running. I didn't write it down. But I remember I just won. I saw like so Jose I won against. Then I faced Brian. I won against him. And then the last guy I faced was Hector. He was a really cool guy too. Him and his buddies, his two other buddies. I did a lot of some trading with them too. Really, really cool guys. By this time we are tired. So there was 9 rounds, and the last 4 duels in a row I won. All right, last 4 duels in a row I won. The last one was actually really pathetic because my opponent didn't show up. For example, Ishaq and was getting some wins by just staying there. Oh, Ishaq did win against Six Samurai, but like basically if your opponent doesn't show up like 10-15 minutes later, you win the duel. So I'll talk about like tournaments and how MDC, how I'm gonna host local ones as I do every winter break. For just some of my friends, like a tournament of 8 or 16. That's about it. I'll talk about that later when it comes, or if I actually even do it. But yeah, so that was how I did. I had 5 wins and 4 losses. So that was my first match duel stuff ever. So 5 and 4 is what my end score was. So that's what I did. I'm gonna release my deck profile of the deck that I used at regionals. I don't want to release it before in case I want to tip anybody off about what I'm running. But all right, so trades, dude. Regionals was the best thing ever for me. One person's trash is another person's treasure. So the nights before, I turned my tins into this fat binder. Not as fat. I saw even fatter binders. So oh man, alrighty. But yeah, basically I have like a ton of commons. They're not really hollows, but they're a bunch of very good commons. All right, so they're all sorted and things like that. So people did like that. A lot of people just went through it, but it was awesome because I was trading away sets of things. So later on in the video, I'm gonna upload like a trade binder video. So stay tuned for that. So I did trade stuff, and yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go over some of the stuff that I acquired in the trade soon, and alrighty then. I will then just move on to that. But yeah, next video you probably will see all the stuff that I acquired there. I'll do a trade binder video, and that's about it. And later on, I'm gonna actually show Samir some stuff in his video, some cards that I have that I kind of owe to him, and some stuff that I picked up on a black and white mat. All right, we'll talk about that in the next video. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry, the video is really long.